Mr. Holland's Opus. So if you think that that title refers to Tom Holland's last name, you're partly right. If you think that that title actually refers to the 1995 film, Mr. Holland's Opus, you are also partially right. What I'm looking to do in this video is actually bring both of those worlds together. Tom Holland's Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then of course the classic Mr. Holland's Opus, Hear Me Out. So I'm Ronnie Gladden. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of our Best Letters. Let's get right into it. So firstly, starting off with Spider-Man Brand New Day, it really is a brand new day. The movie felt fresh. The movie felt thoughtful and very textured. There's a lot of interplay between Tom Holland's character of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, seeing his vulnerabilities. I think that they've done a pretty good job anyway with depicting the difference between classic, ordinary, everyday life and then being this superhero. I think that there's been a really good dichotomy between the real and the surreal. So that's something that we can totally celebrate. But with Brand New Day, we see the transition in play. We have this Peter Parker character that has advanced, that's graduated from high school. He's moving on from being in late adolescence to now moving into young adulthood and confronting all of what that means to confront with. And we all know that adulting can be difficult. We see that play out when it comes to relationships and trying to see if he can get one of the former loves, played by Zendaya, to actually remember the dynamics that they had. It's really odd with how time can just play with memory and with space and with moments that were once so big to one, but then it can be one could be totally unaware of it altogether. So we see idiosyncrasies like that. We also see Spider-Man grapple with his exceptionality. And I don't want to totally spoil the movie, so obviously go see it if you haven't seen it yet. But we do see Spider-Man having to grapple with the limitations of being exceptional and everything not always being in cue. So there's all these notions here with aging and with what was in the past and then what's new in terms of embracing one's sense of self, everything that's ordinary with that, and then also embracing one's exceptionality and drawing a balance between those things. In the earlier films, yes, there was a really clear notion of I'm Peter Parker in one life, but then I'm Spider-Man in a different life, and those lives have to remain separate. They cannot collide, they cannot come together. But it looks like now in Brand New Day that there's a move to want to try to make a balance between the two and not having to demarcate and fragment one's life in such a way that it just becomes too much to juggle, too much to deal with. And we start to see those things come into play. So how does this relate to Mr. Holland's Opus? Well, the thing with Mr. Holland's Opus is that it's a fictional character. It's Glenn Holland, and Glenn Holland is in the film a person that's grappling with delusions of grandeur, having this big musical career, wanting to be a rock star, and to see how that transpires, and it actually doesn't. And so Glenn Holland accepts that fate, goes into teaching. Teaching is supposed to be temporary, but high school teaching ends up becoming his true vocation. He has an impact. It's obviously much more scaled down, but Glenn Holland does work with youths over a span of 30 years. He grows into his role. He grows older. His students appreciate that. And he does still get to work with music, Glenn Holland does, but he's teaching music rather than playing out stadiums and selling out big arenas and being on tour. But nevertheless, he has his life and he becomes the rock star of the classroom instead. So what I see here is a little bit of life and art coming together, life imitating art. And in this way, we have Tom Holland, who actually does have this multi-billion-dollar impact, but hasn't always wanted to act. In fact, Tom Holland is on record with saying that maybe he could have been a carpenter. Maybe he should have been a carpenter. He's even looking to potentially pause or maybe move away from acting altogether and to become a family man and to become a father and want to have more domesticity. He's not the biggest fan of everything that makes for fame and everything that makes for being a quintessential Hollywood it person. So in this way, life and art come together. And it's funny, you know, the Oscar Wilde sentiment that life truly does imitate art, and it rarely does happen the other way around. I see this parallel. I see this kind of juxtaposition between Tom Holland's innate humility, but this outsized life, and Glenn Holland's fictional world, but wanting to have a big outsized musical life, but then instead is more contained and contracted within the classroom space. So it's interesting, but the thing with both of them, Glenn Holland and Tom Holland respectively, is leaving a legacy. Glenn Holland certainly leaves a legacy about after 30 years of teaching, and he becomes one of those legendary figures, those legendary teachers. You may remember some in your school. I certainly remember some in my school just the same. And then you've got Tom Holland. I'm sure he'll go on to do other creative works. I'm sure that he is so much more than Peter Parker, so much more than Spider-Man. He already is well accomplished. Tom Holland was Billy Elliot. Billy Elliot, by the way, is now revived. So that's awesome in and of itself. And yet, Tom Holland, though, is probably at a peak in terms of his relevance, in terms of big blockbuster motion picture franchise in the way that he is. And yet he's already, even before 30 years of age, thinking about becoming a family man, thinking about domesticity, home and hearth, just being together with friends and family. And so his legacy would be that, I think, of dreaming, of hoping, and being in that surreal, being that superhero, helping to fight crime and do things. And there are people who are superheroes. Maybe they aren't able to spin a web and they're not able to scale buildings and skyscrapers, but they do go into the fold, they stand into the gap, and they do dangerous things. So we have a shout out to the firefighters and shout out to the truck drivers and to the nurses and to all the social workers and all the teachers and all the people who are doing the things that you don't see or don't always think about, but they're doing it, and they themselves are making a trade-off. They have their own families, they have their own thoughts, but then they show up and oftentimes unsung, and they get things done. So this is a notion of legacy here, and even bigger than Spider-Man. I mean, what is it for you? What type of legacy do you think you're going to leave behind? In what way do you see your own life maybe colliding with art or imitating it in some fashion, one way or the other? Or am I just totally wrong? Is Oscar Wilde totally wrong? Do you disagree? Do you have a whole other vantage point? I'd love to see that. Put that in the comments. And of course, if you just simply love Spider-Man just for the sake of it, and I do too, I can just watch a movie and just kind of turn the brain off and just be present and take it for what it's worth. What was your favorite part of Spider-Man Brand New Day or any one of the other franchises? Now, of course, Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, I love that, especially bringing it all together, seeing especially Andrew Garfield, one of my favorites in there, and all the other Spider-Mans coming together, meeting up with Tom Holland. We see kind of a little bit of an intergenerational dynamic just in that sense. But now you've got this whole other new chapter, new exposition. And what do you think is going to come up? What's the next Spider-Man movie going to be like? Was the magic still there to see Peter Parker interacting with the Zendaya character? Did you like that? Did you like Frank's character? I definitely did as well. So I don't know. It's real interesting to see this, but Mr. Holland's Opus, I think both fronts, the 1995 film, just as well as this latest edition of Spider-Man, I think both of them have us thinking, have us talking. And of course, Spider-Man Brand New Day is absolutely just breaking records, broke records for opening day starts. Again, I really enjoyed seeing it, and I wonder what you think about it as well. So this is a letter here, Our Best Letters. This film, this whole notion here is about a letter of remembrance as much as a letter of possibilities. You know, what is it that we want to do, that we want to leave behind? It's good to think about that while also just having some fun with popcorn and your feet up and with your person, with your family, with your friends, and just enjoying the movie. We could all go for that right now when there's so much to be concerned about in the world. So thanks for joining me. I'm Ronnie Gladden. See you soon, and leave me a letter. Later.